Hi, I'm here at Social Media Days, and today I'm talking to Mark Blinder of Adobe. And you just came off the Data Above the Fray panel here at the event. And you talked a little bit about how social data isn't really monolithic, it's not a pillar, and there's sort of places for this multi-channel analysis to look at the social data. Could you go into a little bit more detail about that?
Yeah, happy to. I think one of the things that people really lose in the mix when you start talking about social data, I think people will often jump to the conclusion that it's all about listening and sentiment analysis, which is, of course, a really important stream of data. There's tens of millions of blogs out there and all the various social channels, and you want to know what's going on and you want to know what people are saying about your brand. But there's also the sort of engagement and behavioral data, as well as advertising performance data that we're pulling in for our clients. And so there's these three major categories of data that all can really help influence bottom line business results. For example, the engagement and behavioral data, you may well be seeing certain campaigns or themes or products performing really well on Facebook or on Twitter, and other products not performing as well. And that can really change your marketing mix. And also can help you drive better engagement with the fan base, right? If nothing else, people are on there, they liked your brand on Facebook because they want to engage with you and they want to know what you're thinking, that they're being listened to. And so by understanding that engagement data, you can make the most out of those fans and followers. And then the advertising data, I mean, there's so much buzz about this topic of social ROI and attribution analysis right now in the field. And that's something we're really excited about. I mean, it's a field that's just in its infancy, but we can already, by following the same user from sort of place to place to place, really improve. And by place to place to place, I guess I mean, from Facebook to a website, then through a Google ad, back to your website, and know that it's the same user who's come to those various touch points with the brand. We can totally optimize the advertising spend for a brand and get much better results, bottom line revenue results out of that. Because it may well be that you're undervaluing your Facebook presence because you're only doing like a last click attribution analysis, and the last click may have come from Google AdWords or something.
So the panel looked at, this idea of building trust and especially trust with their customers, which is a big deal with banks right at the moment. And there's a lot of customer data out there that banks can use to understand the customer behavior and needs. But how are banks really transitioning and using this data and using social media now?
Well, it's a great question, because I think banks their whole business is built on trust. The foundation of the bank is trust. You're giving them your money and hoping they give it back. So trust is what it's all about. And I think for them, there's a lot of really good opportunities in social media to help engender that trust and loyalty they've built up with customers over the years, because they can be open, they can communicate one-to-one, and they can have those direct touch points with their customers in ways that are really convenient for the customers. They like being talked to on Twitter or on Facebook. And I think when it comes to the social data, there's sort of the two sides. There's the scary side of, I don't want my bankers looking at my Facebook photo albums, and so I'm not going to give them permission to do that. And then there's the really positive side from a consumer perspective, which is, if I'm complaining about my bank on Twitter, I want them to listen and I want them to change things and fix things. If I say the ATM is broken at such and such a location, I want someone to go fix it. And so I do think that we'll see banks do a really good job making the most of this. I think they've shown, through retail operations, through ATMs, a lot of ability to evolve and change with the times in a really good way for consumers. And so I think we'll see the same thing with social media, where it'll be used to give better customer service, to give really engaging content, to give information people want. And I think the banks will stay away from the sort of scary, creepy side, just because there's so much to their brand reputation and trust that is the foundation of the business.